I finally went back to the .com station, and I hate going to this station, I want to say, because they always end up sending me so far away. This route is a 3.5 hour route with 29 stops, and 26 of the stops were marked as commercial. We are going back to the city. Now, I know you guys were saying that you could scan these. Yes, you can. We're gonna do that this time. Now, the part with them marked as commercial really confused me because I was thinking commercial stops are businesses only. But while I was organizing the route, I ended up seeing that a lot of the stops had apartment numbers on them, and I figured this was gonna be a bad one. However, it was going to the part of the city in the downtown area where every single one of these apartments were gonna need at least 2 access codes to get to the mailroom. Now, I know many people might think, oh, you could just put it by the mailboxes, and the problem is even then it might still get stolen. There's so many times these buildings end up getting people that don't live there inside of them to even take things or steal things in general. It's just a huge problem. That's why there always is a bunch of signage to tell people to not let other people into the building. I was excited for this route because I felt like I wasn't going the opposite way from home. I just wish it didn't have half of the apartments on this route. Even looking back on it now, I do believe that they gave way too many, and 26 on one stop, especially a 3.5 hour route, is crazy. Now, whenever you are at a .com station, you are getting a piece of a DSP route. So any of the blue trucks that you see on the road, those are the type of routes that you should be getting at the .com station. Now, some days you might just get the driver rejects are from the Amazon blue truck drivers from the DSPs, which they brought back as returns. It could be because they didn't have access to the apartment building, which is a very big predominant one, and you'll know if that package has been returned, by the way, and then you'll end up finding out why. A key note when it comes to these .com stations is they do not pay as good as the sub same day station. However, a lot of times they don't send you as far. If you find a really good .com station near you, sometimes the money might be lower than the sub same day station, but you might be finishing in a third of the time that it would take for you on the sub same day station routes. We are just leaving the station. It is currently 5:09. Our route start time was supposed to be for 5. This route is supposed to end by 8:30. This is an absolute banger route. It's gonna be rough. A lot of these are apartments. This is going downtown. I was waiting to see if we were allowed to leave or not. That's something that's super wishy-washy, I want to say. Sometimes you're okay to leave on your own. In some stations, they're very strict to wait. Right, it is currently 5:30. We made it to the first stop. So it might be a lot better. And if it's going towards, like for this route for myself, going towards home, you're not going to drive as many miles either. This station from me is about 20 miles, I want to say, which does make a big difference compared to the sub same day station because that's about 8 miles from me. Now, all you need to know about the sub same day stations is that they're trying to get packages that have like the 1 to 2 day promise times with Prime, if not same day delivery for people. The DSP is kind of just the bulk, and the reason why they have routes for drivers for Flex is because of the amount of packages they end up getting at that hub. These stations are especially busy when it comes towards the holidays because even though they have so many drivers and many different companies working throughout these hubs, they still need more people. And I also want to say, I think they started to realize too, some of the stops it would be better to send a Flex driver out there because they're using a smaller vehicle than it is to send one of those Rivian big electric vans.
Oh, thank you so much, man. Appreciate you.
I think it's better for them to end up sending the Flex drivers out to some of these stops because a lot of people end up getting stuck in those big vans or trucks. This station also started opening at 3:15 in the morning and doing 3:15, 3:30, and 3:45 in the morning routes. It used to be that the earliest they opened was 6:15, 6:30, and 6:45. But then they have the afternoon routes like these, which are at 5 o'clock. Now, the key difference you're going to notice between these routes is the difference in miles that you're driving to each stop. Most of the DSP routes should not have a lot of miles in between the stops. You should be getting a section of a route, like I said, from the DSP. So maybe you do get 40 packages, right? But you're going to run through them because they're going to have multi-stop locations and the stops are not going to be that far from each other. You should be kind of designated in a couple of different neighborhoods in one area.
Dude, I don't even think the camera's going to pick that up. What the?
As for the sub same day station, you can drive miles, 5 to 10 miles between stops. A great question I saw in the comments were, do you get more apartment stops at a DSP or a .com location rather than the sub same day station? My opinion is that when you're doing routes in the mornings, you can get a lot of apartments, but they're not going to be these luxury buildings. It does happen at rare times.
So far, it is currently 6:32. We are on stop 15. I want to say that we got like 14 stops to go. 90%, 95% of these stops Basically all these stops are apartment buildings. Most of them are luxury apartment buildings. Not that great. It's also after business hours, so any businesses we're going to is closed. So I'm having to call, see where they want the package. Some of them want it around the building. Some of them have a code to get into the door still. I appreciate not going far, but did I really have to get 90% of apartments?
However, for myself, I've noticed whenever I do the .com stations, more in the afternoon, more in the middle of the day routes, you end up getting stuck with a lot more apartments than if you did the 3 a.m., 4 a.m. routes. And I think they do that on purpose because they start to realize that you have to get the customer on the phone to even get into the building most of the time. I also noticed with the sub same day stations that their routes are way more competitive to catch, and it doesn't matter if they're base pay or surge pay or just normal pay in general. People just love taking those routes for some reason. They sit at that station all day. This is not like that with the .com stations. They do get very busy, but it's just different. And I also think people know that the .com stations don't even have that many times of the day that they end up dropping blocks.
Now this is a perfect time to explain to you guys why I like to scan every single package at the .com stations. I got a bunch of comments saying, just scan the QR codes. I always scan the QR codes. I scanned the bags today. I know you can do that. I have a package that I'm not supposed to have on this route. And from here, the station is about 30 to 35 minutes away. So I'm gonna try to deliver that package because it's in this area. Why would I try to go back? I'm gonna see if Amazon support can help make that happen for me. I honestly don't wanna go all the way back to the station to return it, but this is the reason why I tell you guys to scan it. Maybe your stations are better. This has at least happened to me 3 to 4 times from that station.
The sub same day station, they don't stop dropping throughout the whole day. There are consistent blocks throughout the day that you could pick up. So there is more money in the sub same day station. However, if you are more comfortable, and for people that are first getting into Amazon Flex, I think it's very important that you go with a .com station first. I think the .com station can give you a lot of structure on how to deliver, and I think the routes are a lot easier. But remember, it totally depends on what station you're delivering from. Some stations are just known to be very bad, and they have very bad coordination inside of the warehouse that also deters people from going there, meaning it takes a very long time to load up, wait to get your route. Sometimes you can't leave until everybody finishes, and by finishes, that means loading up, organizing their cars, which for some people, because they got a lot of packages, could take a while. But that also cuts into the time of your start time for your route, which you're trying to get done as fast as possible. Especially now that we're moving towards fall, we're having to worry about daylight savings and wanting to finish before it gets dark. There are so many different methods when it comes to organizing your packages. You could go on and on and on about them. The times where you're going to have to take the longest is when you end up getting 90% boxes on the route. And that's because you really want to have like a grab and go system at the stop. That's what's going to make it so that the route goes a lot faster. But with boxes, you're going to need boxes next to you, boxes behind you, boxes in the trunk. Both of these stations have their pros and they both have their cons as well. I have gotten absolute horrible routes from .com stations, and I've gotten horrible routes from the sub same day stations as well. The differences I found for myself is that the sub same day station has more consistent offers for me, but I would never turn down a .com station route if it is good money. And that's because I know for sure you finish a lot earlier, and a lot of times you end up knowing where you're going to end up, because a lot of these stations, they have designated areas, and there's usually a bunch of them in the region that you're in. So one .com station delivers to one area, one .com station delivers to another area. It could totally vary at times, but typically they stay in that line. I think the only reason for myself that I've done the sub same day station for so long is because I like to deliver at night and it's a lot more calm. And for a long time, the .com stations near me, they didn't open in the mornings like that. They only just started recently opening at 3 a.m. to do that 1 hour from 3 to 4 a.m. of routes. But I have taken a couple of those and they end up not being worth it because of how much distance is between the stops. And even if you end up getting $120 for a 3.5 hour route, for me, I end up driving like 140 to 150 miles. But remember, I also live 20 miles from the .com station, so that's 40 miles there and home. That's not including even going to the first stop or going throughout the route. So it adds up very quick. I wish you could pick what region or area you were going to go to for these routes, but unfortunately, they just don't let you. They have this you get what you get system. It would be nice because I think routes like these that I'm showing in today's video, a lot of people hate, including myself. They take forever because of the amount of apartments. I would take these all day. So I just wish we could say that. Honestly, not even a specific area, just at least going to this city area for myself. It's not even about a specific area. I just want to go back towards home. That's it. Anything around that is perfectly fine for me. And it doesn't even need to be close. I'm talking within like a 20-mile radius of home, which I think could be super fair.
This is our last stop, stop number 29. It's currently 7:34. We took a long time to finish this route and we're still not done. Just wait. I can't have you guys forget, we got the extra package and it is a house. I just looked it up, so we're good. It's currently 12 minutes out, 4 miles out. Like I said, it's better than going 30-35 minutes back to the station. I'd much rather deliver it. There's just no way I'm going to go back to deliver or to return that package. I would rather deliver it. I've done it before when I contacted support, and for anybody that does want to know what the process is like with that, just in case you're in that similar situation, just contact support, give them the TBA number, give them the name and address of the customer, and tell them that you need this package marked as delivered once you delivered it. So what you're gonna wanna do once you get to the stop is you wanna make sure to take a picture of the label for yourself, and you wanna take a picture of where you put the package. We have finished up today's route. It is currently 7:52. We are 14 minutes away from home, 5 miles out. For this route, we have drove a total of 60 miles so far, and with the 5 miles to get home, we're gonna be at around a total of 65 to 66 miles total for this route. That is including the extra package as well that we did deliver. Now, this route was also for $121 for a 3.5 hour route. However, by the time we get home, it's gonna be 8:07, I wanna say. Our start time for this route was 5 o'clock and the end time was supposed to be 8:30. So we practically used up all the route time, and that is because of all the apartment buildings that we had to go through. I wanna say at least 60% of the apartments that we went to, I had to call the customer. I think we had 3 businesses and I had to call all of them to see where I could leave the package for them. Overall though, I'm gonna take this route. It was great. It was better paid than I would get on the 3-hour routes, and I'm gonna get home earlier than if I would have done a 3-hour route from the sub same day station. Before I forget though, I wanna show you guys, this is $121 for a 3.5 hour route. I hope that the camera can pick it up nicely.
I would love to hear your guys' thoughts though. What station is your favorite? Why do you prefer it? Is pay the biggest factor in why you take a specific route or block throughout the day? To the next route.